It's time to come clean.
Definitely cacao.
Kit Kat.
The white means there's a lot of protein in it and calcium.
Yeah, it got like bone.
Yeah, and you can see the bone. A lot of hair.
So it's probably kind of.
I saw a Sasquatch.
That sound came from where the thing was.
That particular day, we were actually going to stay in. We weren't going to go out because it was 100 degrees and, we didn't really want to put ourselves through that. We were going to be hiking around in 100-degree weather. But our minds were quickly changed because that day here at the museum was kind of a meh day. It wasn't very good. And Connor and I were not feeling particularly good. And Keith really wanted to go out. And so we were like, sure, why not? But we made a mistake. We decided we weren't going to take any gear with us because we just wanted to go out and hike and have fun. We didn't want to worry about work or making a video or anything. Prior to this, Connor had been looking at the map, as he does, and found an interesting spot that he's been wanting to go to for a while. And so we decided, med day, let's just go explore at this new area. Now, the cool thing about this area is that it was really, really close to where we've been finding the footprints on that road.
So this is getting like crazy as grass is getting on the road. It's like getting more wild. Love it. I thought you guys did hiking. This is my kind of hiking.
When we got there, it was really cool because the temperature was noticeably cooler there. It's in between two creeks, and kind of created this bowl and kind of trapped the cool air, so it felt really good to be out there.
When we got out of the car, we were in Easter Island at a fairly new location for us, one that we hadn't really walked much at all, an area that was kind of new to us. We got out of the car. It was daylight still, very calm day. Seemed to be like it was going to be a very quiet day until we started walking. And we headed down together as a threesome down the road, and almost immediately we began to hear what sounded like a step here or there in places around us. Out of sight, we couldn't pinpoint any particular sound, but at first we tried to explain it off as maybe it was an animal or something. But as we kept going, and I'm talking just a few minutes, we started to realize this wasn't just an isolated thing that just happened when we just got out of the car.
The animal movement was really, really weird because immediately it seemed off. It didn't sound like anything I had heard moving through the woods before. It definitely was not deer or elk because they would have been taking off and there would have been a lot of them together. It was not bear, because bears kind of bumble through the woods and don't really care about what's hearing them and what's not. And they just kind of do what they do, and there's usually one, maybe two or three, and if there's two or three, they're together, right? And then if it was a cat, we probably wouldn't have heard it or known it was there. But this was really interesting because there were three distinct animals, and they would move when we would move, and they would stop when we would stop. And they were in very distinct locations around us, almost creating a triangle where at least one of them would have eyes on us at all times. So it was very odd right off the bat.
After we'd picked up and started to move from our first location that we had set down to listen, we decided to kind of go off trail and bushwhack to another area. We came across a pile of what turned out to be a cougar scat. And of course, being the curious people we are, we have to stop and take a look at it. Connor took his phone out and was filming Nico and I looking at it. Nico was on his hands and knees, and I was kneeling down into the scene looking at the cougar scat with him because it was interesting and we wanted to know what it had eaten. And as we were doing that, a very loud crack had happened, a sound, this big just crack, and you could see us both go, "What was that?" In unison we turned and we were like, okay, it's still there. So that happened, and just more evidence that something was following us.
At the other spot, we sat down again. We weren't as hidden this time, but we were a little bit more spread out. And we could hear the animals moving. They were coming from the direction we just came from and then moving around us. And I kind of had my back to this hill and I was leaning on a tree. And I started to get a little nervous and I kind of motioned for the three of us to kind of group back together. And when we did this, Connor started coming up with this plan of what we were going to do next. And while he was talking, I started looking up the hill behind where I was sitting, and that's when I saw it.
It was starting to get a little bit on the dim side of the light. The light was coming down. It was getting a little later in the day. I don't remember what time it was exactly, but it was starting to get dusk. And Nico said, "Do you see that?"
I saw this really weird stump, basically. It was a stump with another little bump on top. And it was really weird because I was trying to figure out what it was. It was 7:45 and the light was fading, and so we couldn't really see under the canopy, but we could see us in the bit of the clearing, right? And so the animal itself was silhouetted, which is why I thought it was a stump. But it was a weird stump, and it was in a weird position, and so I was just looking at it, and naturally, Connor and Keith picked up on that and asked me, "What do you see? What's going on?" And I pointed at this thing, and when I pointed at it, I saw the hair raise on this animal. So like stump,
Way below it, yeah.
dark stump.
That one
you
down
guys were
below,
looking
that's
at?
what we all saw first.
Yeah, that's what you guys were looking at, and then
You're
there
like,
was
no,
a thing
above
up
it.
here. What I saw,
It was a bit lower, quite a bit lower than that stump we saw.
kind of like, there was the left side where you could kind of see more going
Didn't span
down.
both trees,
It did,
so it was that wide. So it was probably 3.5, 4 feet wide.
yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah,
like
we're
the-
gonna need
the
to
left
measure those
side-
trees.
The left side,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to erase that, was you could see more of the left side than you could the right side
Okay.
going down. So like actually,
How could I not see this?
That's exactly.
like kind of like that, right?
Yeah,
And then there was like,
I absolutely saw that.
there's that, and then you saw,
I did not.
right? And then there was like all these like little hairs kind of like sticking out like that, like its hackles were raised or something, you know?
Yeah.
You think it was the front of it though?
I think it was the front of it because it was looking at us. You
Must
know?
have been. It must have been. I don't know why it had its back to us. It would want to know what we were doing.
Well, it was something like that, you know?
How do they hide
That's
their
exactly what I
eyes?
saw.
That's what you said.
That's exactly
so we
what I
both
saw.
saw it.
I just was looking at this and I was like,
You were
"No,
looking at
that's
the
a
thing down
stump."
there.
I kept seeing
And I
this,
looked up
and
and
you
I
were
saw
like, "No,
that.
that's not it." I'm looking up, and I was looking to the right for
That
this,
was
and you were
not
pointing.
there. That
And you
was
were
not
pointing.
there.
And that thing moved.
Yeah, yeah.
So we all kind of huddled together and said, "What are we going to do about this? How are we going to proceed?" Because you said it's not moving, whatever it is, it's just up there. It's just this dark mass that looks out of place. And so we said, let's just turn around, walk the other direction for a few steps, just maybe 10 feet, and we'll turn back around, and Connor will sit down and stay where he's put, and Nico and I will walk up the hill toward where he thinks he sees it. So we did just that. We turned around, we faced the other direction, we went to go up the hill, and as soon as we turned around, Nico's first words were, "It's gone."
The next day, we went back with Cliff and my buddy Will.
What do you think, Nico? Coming back the day after, what's going on in your
It's
mind?
exciting. Like, I got the willies a little bit, but I'm excited. The willies.
You're welcome.
But I'm excited. I'm excited to look around and track and see what we got. Cliff and I both found tracks leading away from where I saw the animal. And Cliff brought a little tool to measure how far away we were from the animal. And when he was standing in the spot, he used his viewfinder and he figured out that we were 150 feet away from this animal.
Maybe 6.
I want to see what you're looking at, because I want to see if it looks anything.
Go way around. Go way. Here, just stay there.
Yeah, I don't want him to step on it.
I'll come meet you. The first thing's right there. The first thing I found. Check it out. The discoloration. discoloration here caught my eye.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Flat.
Yeah, and I at first thought it was going
Smooth.
that way. But now I think it was going this way. Nico pointed out this as possible toe, and there's also toes shoved in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this stretch here.
Uh-huh.
I think it's more or less a half track, but it might have made maybe laid something down there. Maybe.
But you got a lot more branches to spring it back.
So that's like 5 or 6 inches
That's within
wide.
the
This
range.
is one of us.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. I'm gonna
And
step on that.
so 5 or 6 inches there. I haven't photographed
If it
it
were
yet,
to be,
but right here. There you go. Look this.
Oh, yeah.
Little bit of a snafu there, and maybe some more was broken off. I don't know. I'll take a picture here though, just to be safe.
well, I found something that had fresh dirt and almost looks like toes.
I'll go take a look at that in a minute. So
Almost right towards you.
Which checks out because
You got what?
if it was going away.
okay, well hold tight because that's directly in line
Yeah.
with what I got.
And if it wanted to hide
So-
from us, it'd just go straight up the hill.
So
Which is where I
careful
heard
with
it.
that.
Uh-huh.
That way.
So there's this. There's that little thing the
Maybe
snappy
snap
deal.
there.
But then over here,
I'm looking around.
oh here, there's a thing here. That big.
That's pretty close to the size you see.
It's about 13 or so. So yeah, so in that stretch there, it's been flattened out in there. The next one I think is here. I think it actually stepped on the log. I think most animals would do that instead of going over. And then there's another one. So that is. Ah, there it is. It's over there. Right here, because this is freshly disturbed. And that is also right there at about 13-inch mark. Yeah, and all of those are in a straight line.
Which we
I think
know-
I'm missing one in there. So one. So we have 1, 2, 3. The other one would probably be in there 4. And that means there's another one back in here.
And then the stump is right there, right?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
So it either came up this way or went around and turned.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think.
Because when so if that's where the stump is, that is literally where I heard the thing move, like almost where Nico and Will are. Yeah. Okay.
Right direction.
Yeah, and I thought I found another one. I thought I put a pin. Oh no, it's down there. I'm probably trampling on something here. But
Straight back
and
up
then
the
there's
hill.
this one over here. There's a couple marks here that might be indications of toes, but there's also a flattened out area. So I'm not sure about that, but maybe. Because that's right by, so like there and up
Where do you
in,
think the toes are? I'll see if I'm thinking that. Uh-huh.
I think that's one.
exactly where I was looking.
Yeah.
So, in going that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it either went up around that tree or to the right or left of this big tree. I don't know which one. And then kind of swerved off to the left and then made a beeline because all those marks that I saw, as vague as they are, going a straight beeline to whatever Nico found. I don't know what that is. Well, let's go take a look.
What do you have up here?
Maybe 2 half casts. Or half tracks, I mean. Maybe.
Uh-huh. There are a lot of maybes down there. So you walked up this?
I did.
All right, what do you have where?
So, right here, kind of a slide down with some broken sticks and stuff. Yeah. It's a mess, if anything. But then right here, I'm putting my foot next to it and then stepping up here. Stepping like that. And I think I see toes in there. But it kind of looks like maybe a pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Maybe a pivot right here with some toes.
That looks sort
Kind of
like
in
what I'm
there.
looking over there.
But then right here, step here, broken sticks. Not super clear either. But it looks like it stepped and pivoted over this way.
So would
Maybe.
that one over there be one too, or is that just a hole?
I think these are holes, but this right here might. Maybe. I don't know. And then the ground gets like really hard back over here, actually.
I feel like we'd see deeper ones if it was a.
Yeah.
I guess it does spring back pretty quickly.
Yeah, but that's with your what, 180 pounds, 200 pounds.
So if these things are,
The print, all those things back there are about 13 inches. So
Which is right on
300 pounds,
Okay.
maybe. I guess, I don't know, 300 pounds maybe.
The tracks themselves weren't very good, nothing castable. In fact, a lot of it was in pine needle duff, and so if we did pour plaster, it actually would have just gone through the pine needles and we would have had a big massive pine needle and plaster. So, we didn't film it. We went to one of our research areas and we didn't film the Sasquatch that we saw. But was this a failure? Absolutely not. Considering the amount of tracks we found, the sounds we've heard, everything that has happened just at Easter Island alone, there will be another time. And that time we will have a camera. Because from now on, we are not leaving this building to go anywhere without our research gear, without a recorder, without a camera. Learn from our mistakes, bring your stuff out there, and maybe next time, the next footage that comes out will be yours.